Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Thank you for waking up with me. I have my coffee in a new mug. I have my water. I have the internet open. What more could a girl want first thing in the morning? I have my friends. Life is good. We're getting this week started off right. Whoo! I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. What is going on in the world, or at least in our neck of the woods, right? While we're waiting for this to load, I want to let you guys know that on Thursday, I'm going to be a guest on Tony Bruno's reality check. It's Thursday night. It's 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So whatever time that is for you, you can do that conversion. I hope you'll tune in. He does some pretty long shows. On my end, it's probably going to be about 9 p.m. to midnight. But I'm ready. I'm ready. I think it's going to be a great topic. We're going to talk about attraction versus sexual attraction. And it's going to be good. I'm not terribly familiar with Tony's work or any of the stuff he does, but I've talked to him, and I think we're going to have a great conversation. I've made it very clear to him that no matter what camp he's in, I am Switzerland. So, if you are familiar with any of the kind of divisions in our neighborhood, those are kind of a no consequence to Fort Worth and I. We try really hard to keep ourselves out of that. But it'll be an interesting conversation. And I hope that you will tune in. I think it's going to be really good. As soon as I have that link, he says he sets that up on like 24 hours before we go live. So as soon as I have that link, I will share it with you guys. But just watch for Thursday night's reality check, and it's good. Great point. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna lift this up. Got to be a Playboy first, lover second. You're saying sexual attraction over attraction. So it's going to be a good conversation. You guys can jump in the chat box there as well. So it'd be fun to see some familiar faces over there, because I am not familiar with his crowd or audience at all. Then I know that I've told you guys this a couple of times, and then it kind of fell through. I am finally getting to interview Lee Jordan this weekend, Saturday night. We had it scheduled like a month ago, and then my eldest son was had a lot of health problems just out of the blue. Anyway, Mama had to run down there. So we kind of kept getting our schedules derailed. So I finally get to meet with Lee Jordan. If you're familiar with him, he is a widower. He is an amazing, smart, intelligent man. He's also, running his game and not only working on healing, but getting back out there and having as great a life as he can. So he's got a neat story. If you aren't familiar with Lee Jordan, I think you will be a big fan when you finish our interview. So I hope you will tune in for that. Lots going on. I keep looking at my calendar because I don't want to miss telling you guys about something coming up this week. Also, if you're not on the Bunny Report email list, I try to send that out and make sure that you have all the pertinent links there. So that's the best place to make sure that you don't miss any of my links. Okay. Good grief. That's enough business for one day. Am I right, guys? Let's start. Okay. Why do women do this? This is good. This is good. Why do women do this? You have to understand, women need attention. A few will work to earn it positively. Most are happy to take the victim shortcut and bask in the negativity. This is the best retweet of this picture that I've seen. She says, unfortunately, I can't make a cute recap video of this year because I spent 2022 ugly crying over my ex, quit my job, ended up in the psych ward, and got an STD. Probably not in that order. This is exactly right. Girls, oxygen is attention. And unfortunately, like toddlers, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative attention. It's really crazy if you think about it. But if they're not getting attention positively, they will definitely work to get it negatively. This girl could have said none of this. She's relatively adorable, even with like the nose ring. You know, she's pretty cute. There's filters going on here. It's just kind of evident in a couple of things, but she's still pretty adorable. She's a shit show, but she's adorable. But for no reason at all, she shared all of this information. It's absolutely insane because she wants the attention more than she cares what you think about it. That's a sad tell of our world, I would say. Eric, those kind of TikToks or shorts in general, I ignore them like the plague. Absolutely. Any women who has to announce they're crying in front of a camera screams toxic and crazy. And there are girls who absolutely, literally, quite literally, exactly like Eric's saying, will make videos of themselves crying. I mean, now, granted, I mean, I get it, guys. I come from a generation where if you took a selfie, you actually were trying to actively cover the fact that you were taking a selfie. You were trying to make it look like a candid photo. Now it's like the selfie is part of the look. So there's a whole lot of things about this that I genuinely cannot wrap my head around. People like posting like this, sharing their negative stuff, posting online about their addictions or their trauma or their shitty husbands or their rehab or their psych ward visits. Like, why would you put that on the internet? The internet has a long memory. Whether you have a long memory or not, the internet always remembers. This screen cap was from 2022. It's already a year old, and yet it still keeps popping up. This girl's kids and grandkids could see this, and yet it's out there. She's an idiot. She's just an idiot. Yeah, seriously. While she's at it, why not make that site ward visit a lifetime? You know, and I think the saddest part or the most frustrating part from my perspective is that most of these kinds of girls not only then keep going back into rehab, psych ward, that kind of stuff, but then they have this epiphany phase where they decide that they could help others, and they like go to work for these places. And then the psych wards, the rehab facilities are just full of people who are clearly traumatized and damaged, and they're helping others instead of just helping them from the front end. Maybe not going through all the damage, but finding that you had a gift for helping people. I mean, what the fuck, man? What? That's just all I have to say about that. It's enough. It's enough. Sorry. We need to find some happy something. This is Monday. All that being said, Noble Brown is absolutely 1000% on point here. I love this. If girls aren't getting positive attention, they're going to shoot for negative attention because they've got to have it either way. Period. All right, guys. Shoe ad. Let's see. Dating rules for men. I generally like Masculine Peak a lot. Let's look at what his dating rules for men are. Never tell a girl your body count. Girls cannot. I know you guys, if you have lesser a practice with women, whether it's sexual, whether it's just, you know, from a game perspective, from a dating perspective, you just have less practice. You think that girls can tell that, and they can't. It's a wonderful thing. We can't tell. We can tell if you have charisma. We can tell if you have self-confidence, but we absolutely can't tell your body count. We cannot tell how much practice you have in this realm. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, but definitely don't tell her. Number 2. For a girl to respect you, she needs to be able to look up to you. Absolutely. This is where leadership comes in. This is where you knowing who you are, what you stand for, how you look, how you carry yourself, how you present yourself to the world. That is what matters. So what you present is what she sees. If what you present doesn't bode well for her to respect you and prioritize you and follow you enthusiastically, then you're not going to get that. You're going to expect it. You're going to wish for it. It's not going to do anything. Always put your purpose over women. This is kind of like the bros before hoes thing in a lot of ways. You absolutely, when you prioritize the female in your life or the females in your life, short of emergency situations, genuine emergency situations, then you fail. Because not only does she want a man who doesn't really put her in front of everything else, she really doesn't. She really doesn't. That's a sign of weakness. It's a very effeminate thing to do. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, here's a great example of this. Always put your purpose over women. This is a black and white example that I've seen in real time over and over and over again. Guy gets a girlfriend. Then he starts having fun weekends with her. They spend all weekend together. Monday morning, he doesn't want to get out of bed. He wants to stay in bed with her. He wants to keep this fun going. She's saying, you know, just stay in bed today. Call in sick. And he does it. Now, what happens when he stays in bed? He calls in sick. I actually had a boyfriend who used to, an ex-boyfriend, who used to have me call in sick for him, I guess to back up him being sick, when really we just wanted to fuck all morning, which was fun. But what happens then? This didn't happen with my guy, but he loses his job, or he doesn't get promoted as much as he would like to be or thinks he should be. He doesn't get thought about for promotions because he's not all that reliable. He's always calling sick. He's always sick. But coincidentally, him calling in sick always coincides with him getting a new girlfriend. So then he doesn't make advancements in work. He doesn't make the money that he thinks he should, or he thinks he deserves, or he would like to make. The girl leaves him because, you know, I mean, like, for example, the guy who I dated who did this, who would pull that, well, he was an hourly wage guy. He wasn't salary. So what happens then? Then he doesn't make as much money the next pay period because he missed 1, 2, maybe 3 days of work over this in that pay period. So then he's broke. Then there's problems. Like, think about this. Think about the long-term ramifications. That's what men do, is you think beyond just right this second. Girls think right now. Men are supposed to think. You're wired to think ahead. So if you're putting your purpose in front of your women, you're winning. If you're putting your woman in front of your purpose, you're going to be incredibly disappointed because you're going to lose both. All right. If a girl respects you, she will emulate your values and your opinions. This is pretty solid because girls are mirrors to what you like, to what your interests are, to what your beliefs are. If a girl truly is drawn to you and is just enamored by you, is attracted to you, she is going to naturally pick up your habits, your beliefs, your interests. I like to use the example of dirt biking. I freaking love riding my dirt bike. I never had a dirt bike before Fort Worth. I never liked motorcycles or liked doing things like that or had any interest in it. But it's a lot of fun because I have the opportunity because he introduced me to it and I latched onto it. It gives me opportunity to spend time with him and I enjoy it. It's a win-win. But if it weren't for Fort Worth, I would never, ever have given dirt biking a single thought. I'm sure that my father is none too thrilled about his daughter owning a dirt bike, but I have a lot of fun on it. It's a lot of fun. I ride slowly on level, grassy, soft ground and have a wonderful time. Be ready and willing to walk away at any time if necessary. This doesn't mean you have to. It just means you have to have the mindset that you could and you'd be okay. It's just a strength. It's just from a place of strength. It's an important belief to have. And this is an important thing to always have in mind. Always have in mind. It's not to say that you tell her this. It's a terrible idea. Who wants to hear that? But have the understanding, the belief in yourself that you'd be okay if you walk away. If you walk away. If necessary. If a girl wants you, she will find excuses to touch you. Fort Worth and I have been hammering this hard lately too. Girls never touch you by accident. They never bring up another guy to you by accident. If they want to reach out to you, if they want to show their attraction for you, they absolutely will, without question. This is not even like up for discussion. This is, if you don't believe this, think about how many times, your sister's girlfriends have just randomly touched you for no reason over the years. Think about ex-girlfriends or former lovers, maybe before they were your girlfriend or lover, how they would find a way to reach out and touch you. We just do this instinctively. Never get too comfortable in a relationship. Comfort kills attraction. Period. Understand this. This is not about you always feeling the need to entertain. It's not always about you like keeping her, micromanaging her. It's not about you not being able to relax and enjoy your relationship a little bit. But don't get so comfortable that you get lazy and complacent. It's never sexy. Comfort is not a sexy thing. A girl who makes a guy's life too easy, he gets lazy, he gets soft. And then she hates him for it. She actually starts to disrespect him because he was able to be comforted. Women want to take care of you. We want to, I don't even want to say mother, but in a lot of ways, like that's how we show our love for people, is by caring for them in those ways, by cooking for them, by cleaning, by taking care of chores. But if you become too lazy and complacent and comfortable in that, then we very much start to quickly turn and resent that you are so soft. So don't do that. Don't do that. Always keep your options open, even in a relationship. There should always be there should always be girls kind of in your periphery that are enough to keep your girl on point. Okay. So whether you have any desire to jump ship and fuck your way around the world, or you want to be with this girl forever that you're with, whether you're dating, engaged, married already, always keep your options open. It helps keep her in line. It helps remind you that you are a high value man. It keeps everyone in check. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So this applies to what we're talking about comfort. So Eric asks, Bunny, quick question. Is it bad that a guy, I don't want her to say, wash my dishes or clean my place. Oh, I see. Okay. Or even support me in the lowest points where I shoulder all of it myself. So, okay. So is it bad that as a guy, I don't want her to wash my dishes, take care of you? Absolutely. And this is, we run into this a lot in our consulting because we deal with a lot of really high value men who are busy, who are important, oftentimes who are running rotations of women. Girls take care of men when they're trying to infiltrate and become a relationship, So girls are in charge of relationship. The way that we kind of sneak our way into relationship status instead of like fuck buddy or friend with benefit, just kind of occasional side piece, is we start doing things for you. We start washing. We do a little bit of laundry now and then. We clean the kitchen. We change the sheets. We clean your bedroom. We notice that the bathroom's a little bit messy, so we straighten up. We buy you a candle to make it smell better. We infiltrate your life, and we actually like force relationship by doing these things, by doing the motherly things. Okay, I'm going to call them motherly things because it's someone who takes care of the household. Okay, so Eric, you and other guys who genuinely are like, I don't want you to do that. Number one, you probably have a system for doing it in the first place. And I think in the back of your mind that when girls start doing that, they expect a little bit more of your attention. They expect more of your care, of your security. They expect more from you because they consider themselves then in relationship with you. So he goes on to say, basically, it's kind of been ingrained in me that I do as much as I can on my own with little or no help. That's just the way I am as a person. It's his upbringing. It's how I've lived life. Absolutely. And this is an admirable trait for most men. One of the biggest arguments that I hear between couples is girls do this. They infiltrate the relationship. They force a relationship essentially by doing all of these things. On the front end, we want to clean up after you. We want to do little things to kind of make your life easier. But as relationship goes on, that list of things that we started doing because we wanted to make your life easier gets longer and longer and longer. And unless we are genuinely a stay-at-home, like wife, girlfriend, mother, it becomes a lot. And oftentimes, Eric, I think your upbringing is pretty fucking solid, because then women start to get bitter and frustrated that they're the only ones who seem to be able to rinse a dish in this house, that I'm the only one who sees that, the clothing is on the floor instead of inside of the laundry basket. Like, little things start to irritate girls. over time, because men no longer take care of themselves, it truly does become a situation where she's mothering him instead of doing things because she wants to do things. It's because it's now expected. So Eric, you're setting yourself up for success in a lot of ways by not leaning heavily on or allowing women to do that kind of stuff for you. I do suggest that if it's a girl who you really do like, if you really do want her to kind of stick around a little bit, let her do something. Let her have some little task or chore that you enjoy her doing. Not something that is really, helping you all that much, maybe not necessarily something that you already have a system for doing. Let her pick up your dry cleaning. Let her run and grab groceries one day. A little thing like that, so that she feels like she's helping and she feels like she's making your life better and easier, but isn't necessarily going against your upbringing and your belief system there. So excellent point. Moving on. Never settle for a girl that is less than what you want. Talk to everyone, practice on the ugly ones, flirt with girls everywhere you see them. Just get in good practice, but don't ever settle for less than what you actually desire. If it's, Fort Worth and I have talked about this before, in that if you have a certain type that you're drawn to, but then you, let's say, marry someone who is not truly not your type, there's always going to be a missing piece there. There's always going to be something wanting. There's always going to be times when you see the girl who better fits your most deep desire for a woman, and she's not going to be the girl in front of you. So you're never going to be fully satisfied if you settle for a girl that's less than what you want. Sometimes the best dating strategy is not to have a date at all and focusing on leveling up instead. This is a little bit kind of one of those, like, this is a little bit harder than the earlier one about, like, not putting women in front of your purpose. This is a little bit like the whole rah masculine thing about, if you make yourself, powerful, successful, then the girls will come to you. So make sure you make your money and then the girls will come. When really the reality is girls fall in love with guys who rail them, on a mattress on the floor in a frat house full of guys. Like, there's the best dating strategy is to have self-confidence, be open to meeting new women all the time, compare women in real time, not your imagination of, this is the only one on this list that I'm not really in agreement with, and I'm telling you why. Yes, you need to focus on leveling up. Yes, you need to be the very best version of yourself. Yes, you need to think of what your ideal self looks like and how that person would be presenting themselves to the world every single day and all the time, be working towards that end. But that's not a dating strategy. That's a life success strategy. If in the middle of your grind, you happen to meet the woman or women of your dreams, they don't have to get in the way of your mission, but that doesn't mean you completely ignore them. There's no reason for that. One more. When a girl genuinely wants you, she will do whatever it takes to have you. Girls absolutely cannot risk you not knowing that they're interested in you. Make no mistake, whether it's because she shows up at all the things that you happen to be at, she makes herself part of your social circle. She's already part of your social circle, or she's already like seeing you out and about at things, she starts showing up more. She catches your eye. She's always in proximity. Girls will take whatever they can get to make sure that they're taking steps to where you see them, you know they're there, and that way you can talk to her. Whoo! That's a good list. I mean, that's a pretty solid list. I will take this. All right, you sexy things. If you have not checked out my website in a while, I hope you will. One of my latest books, What Women Really Want, is fucking fantastic. I think it's really great. And I hope that if you haven't already, that you pick that baby up. Anyway, on my website, if you haven't been there in a while, I've got a link for men specifically. And this is talking about consults. That's where you submit a question for live Q&A, anything that you want me to present on any of our shows. That's a great place to do it. You can also fill out the form for meeting with me if you need a consult. Then a bunch of like rah-rah stuff. I've also got a products tab that has all of my books that you can pick up. I would appreciate it if you have any of those needs that you do that, because I've got a lot of sexy books there. And on my homepage, some of my favorite videos, interviews, shows that I've done are linked there. But even if they are not necessarily one that is interest of you, you can go to Fort Worth and my YouTube channel and check out all the things that we post all the time. I've got my interview with Ryan. I've got my interview with Stephen Story. That was fucking fantastic. All about like being financially independent so you can be location independent, so you can, you know, be life independent. So good. So good. Sarah Beth, she and I are going to start our spicy tea with Bunny and SB, which is going to be all the sexy sex stuff. We are going to start that show next month. And I am so pumped about that. 2 sexually enthusiastic women talking about sex and answering lots of questions. That is a win-win. Dan Heron, he's that PI, international man of mystery. He's like real life James Bond, and I adore him. We had a great conversation. And then also my lunch date with Bunny, a fun little show that I do every once in a while, and just kind of chat with you and have a little bit of a practice date in a lot of ways. That's always been a fun time. I haven't done a ton of those, but it's a good time. All right. I'm done there. I hope that you have the best day. I suggest let's try that. Sorry about that. I suggest you finish your coffee with me. I suggest you go lift heavy things. Go have some sex. Go accomplish something and have the best day. Oh, there's Tony Bruno. Hey, I was just talking at the front of this show, Tony, about our interview on Thursday and how super pumped I am. So guys, Tony Bruno, T21 Surfer, check him out and come see us on the Reality Check Thursday night. I will share that link once it's live. Whoo! Have a great day. Bye.